magkita tayo sa next round. Yeah, I
The
do.
mid-air miracle. Why Eala's secret act on a flight left everyone in tears, and how she's taking over tennis. Welcome back to Champions Tennisitics, the only channel where we serve up the hottest news, the biggest smashes, and the behind-the-scenes stories that make the entire tennis world spin on its axis. If you are new here, welcome to the family. And if you are a returning champion, you already know we do not do boring around here. Grab your popcorn, settle into your favorite chair, and buckle up tight. Because today we are diving into a story so breathtaking, so genuinely moving, and so utterly cinematic that if you pitched it to Hollywood, they would tell you it was too good to be real. But here is the thing, it is 100% real life, and it involves one of the most exciting young athletes on the planet right now. We are talking about Eala, 20 years old, world number 32, the pride of the Philippines, and apparently, the most wholesome human being currently walking through any airport terminal on Earth. Because word has just gotten out about something this young woman did on a commercial flight, completely away from cameras, completely without any fanfare, and completely without any desire for recognition whatsoever, and the story is spreading across the internet like absolute wildfire. By the time we are done here today, you're going to understand exactly why millions of people are not just rooting for Eala to win tennis matches. They are rooting for her as a human being. And those are two very different things. So let us paint the picture for you, because the details here are everything. Imagine you are boarding a long-haul commercial flight, the kind of flight that nobody enjoys. The aisles are narrow, the overhead bins are already stuffed to capacity, tempers are quietly simmering, and every single passenger is just trying to get to their seat, plug in their headphones, and survive the journey. You are shuffling down the jet bridge with the rest of the herd when suddenly, moving in the opposite direction of the natural flow, you notice something. A frail, elderly woman. She is clearly overwhelmed. Her steps are slow and labored. She is in visible physical discomfort, gripping the seat backs for support as she inches her way toward the back of the economy cabin, looking utterly exhausted before the flight has even left the gate. Now rewind 30 seconds. Sitting comfortably in the front of that same plane, settled into a plush, lie-flat first-class suite, pre-flight water in hand, noise-canceling headphones at the ready, is none other than Eala. She has just come off an intense stretch of competition on the WTA Tour. She is carrying the weight of an entire nation's sporting hopes on her 20-year-old shoulders. Her body needs recovery. Her mind needs rest. She has earned every single inch of that first-class seat, and absolutely nobody in the world would fault her for putting on those headphones and shutting out everything around her. But that is not what she does. Instead, Alex notices the elderly woman struggling past her in the aisle. She watches for a moment. She sets down her water. She unbuckles her seatbelt. And then, without calling over a publicist, without picking up her phone to document the moment, without doing a single thing to make sure anyone notices, she quietly flags down a flight attendant and insists on swapping tickets. She personally guides the bewildered, barely believing elderly woman into the spacious first-class suite.
Since I was young, I was like, my idea of when I was gonna grow old is that, or be older.
She makes sure the woman is comfortable, that she knows how to adjust the seat, and that she has everything she needs. Then Alex grabs her own carry-on bag, gives the woman a warm smile, and walks herself all the way to the back of the plane, where she settles into a cramped middle seat in economy class. Now, right there, that alone would be the kind of story that goes viral. Giving up a first-class seat to a stranger is an extraordinary act of generosity. But here is where the story goes from heartwarming to something else entirely. Here is where it becomes the kind of thing that makes people stop scrolling and actually feel something real. Word began to quietly ripple through the flight crew about the VIP athlete sitting somewhere in economy. When a flight attendant made their way back through the cabin to check on Alex and offer her a complimentary premium meal as a small gesture of appreciation, they found themselves completely stopping in their tracks. Because Eala was not sleeping. She was not watching a movie or scrolling through her phone. She was not doing any of the things a world-ranked professional tennis player on a long-haul flight typically does. Instead, she was gently rocking a crying toddler in her arms while the baby's mother, a young single woman sitting in the seat beside her, slept with her head against the window. This mother, it turned out, had been traveling for nearly 24 consecutive hours. She was running on fumes, emotionally shattered, teetering on the absolute edge of a breakdown, with a little one who simply would not stop crying. And at some point during that flight, Eala, the fierce competitor who regularly trades baseline bombs with the best players in the world, had quietly reached over, said something gentle to the exhausted mother, and taken the baby into her own arms. For 3 hours, she played peekaboo. She made silly faces. She hummed softly. She did whatever it took to keep that little one calm and let a stranger sleep. 3 hours. The crew members who witnessed it could not believe what they were seeing. But the story does not end there, because Eala apparently decided that one extraordinary act of kindness per flight simply was not enough. Just before the plane began its descent, Alex quietly summoned the purser. She handed over her credit card. And what she did with it was the detail that sent the flight crew fully over the emotional edge. She did not just cover a round of drinks or pay for the people in the immediately surrounding rows. She covered the meals and refreshments for everyone within earshot who had been caught up in the chaos of the crying baby and the general exhaustion of a difficult flight. And then, on top of all of that, she arranged and paid out of pocket to have a VIP ground transport medical concierge waiting at the arrival gate specifically for the elderly woman she had given her seat to. She had quietly coordinated this mid-flight, making sure the woman would have safe, comfortable, professional assistance from the moment she stepped off the plane. And the note. We have to talk about the note. Before the plane touched down, Alex pulled out a napkin, borrowed a pen, and wrote a brief handwritten message. She folded it carefully and asked the flight attendant to make sure the elderly woman in first class received it after landing. It read simply, "Keep fighting. You are loved." When the flight attendants gathered in the galley and realized the full scope of everything Alex had quietly orchestrated over the course of that flight, without seeking a single moment of recognition, the tears started flowing and did not really stop. There was no Instagram story. There was no tweet. There was no carefully worded press release from a management team. Just a 20-year-old superstar proving, in the most private and authentic way imaginable, that her heart is every bit as powerful as her devastating forehand. So when she boarded that commercial flight and saw a vulnerable, elderly woman struggling and overwhelmed and clearly frightened by the chaos of travel, she did not see a stranger. She saw a reflection. She saw the same sheer, bone-deep travel anxiety that she and her fellow athletes had just barely escaped from weeks earlier. And she acted, not because someone told her to, not because it would look good, but because she simply understood what that woman was feeling in a way that was deep and genuine and personal. That is empathy, not the social media version of it, the real thing. But here is what makes this entire story even more fascinating, and what you absolutely need to understand if you are going to keep up with the 2026 WTA season. Because the moment Eala steps off that plane and her sneakers touch a hard court, the angel wings come off, and something entirely different takes over. The same young woman who spent 3 hours rocking a stranger's baby in an economy middle seat will, the very next day, go out and compete with the ferocity of someone who has been training their entire life for exactly this moment. And right now, in the year 2026, the Eala effect has completely taken over the global tennis conversation. If you have somehow not been paying close attention to the WTA Tour this season, we need to get you caught up immediately, because you are missing something truly historic unfolding in real time. We all knew Alex was special when she was grinding through the clay courts of the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, developing her game under the tutelage of one of the greatest champions in the history of the sport. We got our first major preview of what was coming when she captured the 2022 US Open Girls Singles title, announcing herself to the world as someone worth watching very, very closely. But what she is doing now on the professional circuit, as a ranked player competing week in and week out against the elite women in global tennis, is something else entirely. Her 2026 season began with a stunning semifinal run at the ASB Classic in Auckland, a result that sent shockwaves through the tennis community and rocketed her up the world rankings at a pace that few predicted quite so soon. She carried that momentum into the Australian Open, where she battled hard and gave the crowd in Melbourne everything she had. And then came the Middle East swing, with all the chaos and drama and genuine fear that surrounded it, before she arrived in California carrying a brand new top 32 ranking and the kind of confidence that only comes from having already survived things that would break most people. Which brings us to Indian Wells, the BNP Paribas Open, the tournament that the tennis world universally recognizes as the unofficial fifth Grand Slam, set against the stunning backdrop of the California desert, with a player field so deep and so competitive that simply qualifying for the main draw is an achievement worth celebrating. And Alex Eala did not just qualify, she earned a first-round bye. Because when you are ranked 32nd in the world, the tournament owes you one. That is how far she has come. So her Indian Wells campaign began on March 7th, when she walked onto the court to face Ukraine's Diana Yastremska, a powerhouse who was sitting at world number 52 and who hits the ball with the kind of heavy, aggressive weight that can overwhelm players far more experienced than Alex. If you thought all the drama in Alex's life was confined to airplane cabins, you were not paying attention. What followed was 2 hours and 43 minutes of some of the most gripping, nerve-shredding, emotionally exhausting tennis you will see all year. What makes Alex Eala's trajectory feel so different, so urgent, and so genuinely exciting is the authenticity that radiates from everything she does. This is not a manufactured narrative. She was not engineered by a marketing department. She is a young woman who put in the grueling, unglamorous, years-long work at the Rafa Nadal Academy, who won junior Grand Slams, who climbed the rankings point by painful point, and who is now arriving on the biggest stages in the sport and proving that she belongs there through sheer will and talent and character. The story of what she did on that flight is not surprising to anyone who has followed her journey closely. It is completely consistent with who she has always been. She is carrying a weight not unlike what Manny Pacquiao once carried for the Philippines in boxing, the weight of being a national symbol, of embodying the aspirations of millions of people who see themselves in her success. But unlike so many athletes who buckle under that kind of pressure, or who let it warp their personality and priorities, Alex seems to be drawing genuine strength from it. The bigger the stage, the more she rises. The higher the stakes, the more clearly her character shines through. Whether she is saving match points in a desert stadium or quietly paying for a stranger's ground transportation in an airport terminal, the person is exactly the same. The upcoming Philippine Women's Open on the WTA calendar represents another seismic moment in this ongoing story. For the first time, the WTA Tour is bringing a legitimate stop to the Philippines, and the idea of Alex Eala competing in front of her home crowd, in her home country, in a sanctioned WTA event, is the kind of moment that transcends sport entirely. It will be a cultural event. It will be a national celebration. It will be the moment when an entire country gets to look at one of their own, playing at the absolute highest level of their sport, and feel the full, overwhelming weight of what she represents. But that is a story for another day, because right now, the entire tennis world is locked in on Indian Wells, locked in on the rematch, locked in on the question that every tennis fan on earth is currently asking. Can Alex Eala, 20 years old, fresh off one of the most dramatic comeback wins of the year, go out onto that California hardcourt and do the unthinkable? Can she beat Coco Gauff? Can she avenge that painful Dubai scoreline and punch her ticket to the round of 16 at one of the most prestigious events in the sport? Can she prove, definitively and emphatically, that the Eala effect is not just real but unstoppable? Here's what we know. The Alex Eala who steps onto the court in that rematch will not be the same player who walked onto the court in Dubai. She has grown. She has processed the loss. She has competed in high-pressure situations since then and come through on the right side. She has a support network, a fan base, and an internal reservoir of toughness that she has demonstrated repeatedly under the most extreme conditions imaginable, both on the court and off it. And somewhere in the back of her mind, we suspect she has a very simple internal reminder ready and waiting for the hard moments. Keep fighting. You are loved. The entire tennis world is holding its collective breath. And we're going to be watching every single point, every single rally, every single drop shot and down-the-line winner and clutch second serve, with everything we have got. Now it is your turn. We want to hear from you, the Champions Tennisitics community, the smartest and most passionate tennis fans on all of YouTube. What do you think about Alex Eala's incredible, secret act of kindness on that flight? Does it change how you see her as an athlete and as a person? And the big question, the one everyone is debating in the comments sections and group chats right now, Who are you picking in the blockbuster Indian Wells rematch between Eala and Coco Gauff? Are you riding with the Filipino phenom to pull off the upset of the tournament? Or do you think Coco Gauff is simply too good, too experienced, and too locked in right now? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Be specific. Be bold. We read every single one, and the best predictions will be featured in our next video. If this story moved you, if it fired you up, if it reminded you why sports at their absolute best are about so much more than just who wins and who loses, then please do us a massive favor and smash that like button right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more tennis fans around the world who need to know this story. And if you are not yet subscribed to Champions Tennisitics, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you are the first to know when we drop the full Indian Wells rematch breakdown, the reaction video, and all the exclusive stories from the tour that you simply cannot get anywhere else. We are Champions Tennisitics. We cover the heart, the hustle, and the humanity of this incredible sport. Until next time, keep your strings tight, keep your serves an ace, and never, ever stop fighting. See you on the court.